Hello, this is Dr. Stanley Lang, and welcome again to this broadcast. This is a continuation of the series on whole person health with a focus on diabetes control and diabetes management. And you might wonder what the connection is between whole person health, health tips for diabetes, Christian spirituality, and how relationships that are spiritual in nature have an effect on chronic stress, and what's that got to do with diabetes health? Well, as you know, your spiritual life is very important to you, so I wanted to focus on how bringing that into your mental picture when you address your physical issues helps you to have better physical and emotional health. So I'd like to show you again this diagram that I've been sharing, which is highlights the interconnectedness between body, mind, and spirit, and how approaching health through all three of these areas at the same time can help us have the very best health in the world. So today I'm focusing on spiritual health and how being healthy spiritually is good for diabetics, or for people who are either diabetic or are at risk for becoming diabetic, and how can you live your life in a way that reverses diabetes or avoids diabetes. And what does spiritual health have to do with that? Well, there's several different elements that I would like to review over the next few weeks related to this question. But the one that I want to talk about today is simply the idea that having an intimate relationship with God decreases stress. And the reason it decreases stress is that when we have a relationship with God that is intimate, that is, we are actually experiencing a person-to-person relationship, that has an effect that could best be described as experiencing peace. Now, if you're going to try to, as the opposite of feeling chronic stress, one of the words that I would come up with as an opposite experience would be the experience of peace. And in fact, the times in my life when I have felt most peaceful, there's no stress at all being felt in my life. And so when we bring into our consciousness and into the stressful events of the day the relationship with God, and we experience those moments as you do many times because of the importance of your relationship with God. When we do that, it brings peace, which automatically decreases the effect of chronic stress. Well, what does that have to do with diabetes? Well, as I mentioned yesterday when we were talking about emotional health, chronic stress produces an imbalance in multiple different hormones in our body, in particular one called cortisol. And as cortisol levels rise, it affects the blood sugars. It affects how likely blood sugars are to rise versus not to rise. And people who are diabetic can have high cortisol levels. Their blood sugars are under worse control. People that are pre-diabetic and under chronic stress circumstances are more likely to become diabetic. So by decreasing chronic stress, we decrease this cortisol surge that's happening frequently, and that is much more likely to happen if I am experiencing a relationship with God at an intimate level. So my encouragement for you today is to think about how you can bring your relationship with God more and more into the moments of your day, so that the peace that comes from that, in a sense, infiltrates the stressful experiences of the day. How can you become more conscious of this relationship and bring that relationship forward into the moment, into your mind during the moments of the day? And one of the benefits of that will be that you will not only feel more peaceful, but you'll have less of the negative effects of chronic stress on your life, impacting your health. And in particular, as we focus on diabetes, your diabetic control will be better. You'll be more likely to be able to reverse your diabetes if you attend to all of the issues related to healthy lifestyle, and you're more likely to avoid becoming diabetic in the first place. So I wish you well as you attempt to bring your relationship with God more into the present moment. And please share this message with other people that you think would benefit from it. God bless and have a great day.